This conference will now be recorded.
Thank you, Manmohan. Good morning, everyone. I'm Bhavna, and welcome to session 3 of Community Cloud Specialist series from Decode SF Certification Group. Let's get started, and I hope everyone is safe and sound from Corona. Stay at home. So about today's presenters, we have actually a gracious speaker. She's important because she is right now working in Community Cloud. Her company is using Community Cloud, so she is bringing a lot of experience to this session. Her name is Upma Pal, and she is a Salesforce developer at GE Appliances. She's also speaking first time in the Decode SF certification. And she is a certified Salesforce developer. You can connect with her on LinkedIn with this link. And about me, I have already introduced earlier. Recently, I became Marketing Cloud Champion, so I think I should highlight that. And rest, I'm with Group Leader in Amsterdam. I speak in Decode SF certification and I work with Echo Netherlands as Salesforce consultant, and I'm a Rad Woman coach. You can connect with me with LinkedIn and Twitter on this. Now about the group Decode SF certification, you all are aware that this group is basically started so that we will be very focused on certification, and we should know not only how but also why. So that is our focus, and the beauty of this group is everything is not on speakers. We take experiences from the people who join the group. So at any point of time, if you see that you have experience in that particular topic, you are welcome to contribute during the session. You can connect with us over Twitter and Meetup, and we are posting all our recordings in this YouTube channel, Decode SF Certification, so you can follow us there as well. Recently, we are crossing around 700 subscribers, so we are quite happy. Thanks for all the support. Then speakers for this Community Cloud Specialist series is myself. I just told about Vinay. Vinay is domain architect, and he's preparing for CTA exam. So he's a valuable addition. He brings a lot of knowledge. Upma Pal, I just introduced, and then we have Manmohan Singh. He is also a technical architect, and he also brings a lot of value in the series. Now, with this exam is typically meant for administrator and solution designer and consultants.
Bhavna, sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
We are getting extra echo.
Sorry?
We are getting echo from your voice. I'm not sure about other audience. Correct.
Not for me. For me, it's perfectly fine. There's no echo.
Oh,
yeah, for me also.
It was okay.
Okay, thank you guys. I think that's a problem from your side then. Okay, so I will just continue with the exam. So the exam, I said it was for administrator and solution designer and consultants. There will be 60 multiple choice question with 5 unscored questions. The passing score is 62%, and the time you will be given is 90 minutes. The main exam costs you $200, and if you flunk, it will be $100. And there is a prerequisite for this one, which is you should be Salesforce certified administrator. Now, before I explain this slide, we are really sorry that we were not able to take last sessions because it's Corona, and the permutation and combination changed a lot. We have our speakers also, which were predefined, were not able to take session because of reason. So that's why there are some changes in the dates. but because we understand that there will be a gap, we will be posting the videos immediately. So you will get whatever session happened till date. You will get the recordings by this week itself. So we have already covered session 1 and 2. Today is session 3, and then we have community builder, community management, and content templates and use in the later session. Just before we will actually begin the session, we will show you several things in while doing a demo. But keep in mind that not all the topics we are going to cover today, because community, if you see as when we will be like sharing the screen, you see a lot of component, but not all the component are part of community setup. So we will not be like describing each of them. So whatever we are not telling you today, we will be telling you in the next session. So don't get panic. And there is a request that let the speakers complete their whole presentation. Then we will be welcoming questions and any kind of comment or input we will be welcoming after that. So this is all about it. And because now the first session will be conducted by Upma, so I will be giving it to Upma. Hi, Upma.
Thanks, Bhavna. Hello, everyone. Bhavna told, first I will be starting the session today, first part of the session. I am working in GE Appliances as a Salesforce developer. So I have worked on the community cloud, and previously I used to attend the session here, and now first time I've got the opportunity to represent the session. So it's like here, I thought to help the community as like we are helping each other from this platform. Okay, how to share? I'm going to share my screen now. Okay, so first I will be telling you how we can set up the community. Before starting this, can everyone see my screen?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. How to minimize this one? Actually, in corner I'm getting this. How I can minimize this?
Can you control escape? Click on escape.
You can double click on the screen. In that case, also it'll try to minimize.
You can alt tab if you want to go to your presentation.
This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, so first we'll start with the setup of the community, how we set up. So here we can go with the end, we'll go to the profiles. Before creating any community, we should see like which profile we are going to use. So it will be for showing you a small demo, I'm going to clone one profile and I will be using this for the next page. Yeah. Okay. before creating any community, we should do some settings in the community. Yeah. If you are using first time, then you will be getting the page and you have to enable the communities, and you have to provide any domain name. Yep. Yeah. Now we'll get the options here. Before creating the communities, for all communities, we have some general settings. So there are like domain names here. That starting what domain name we have provided, that will be shown here. Or if we give any other domain in the particular community, it will be overridden. This will be overridden with that. And after that, some community management settings are there. Here, this one is very important. Enable experience workspaces, because once you create any community, after that, for the administration settings and builders builders workspaces should be visible. If you click this one, then only it will be visible. Otherwise it won't be visible. We have to come to the setup to enable it to, if we want to use there. And assign new records created by the guest user to the default owner. That means, like, if we check this checkbox, we will be having an option in all communities to choose the record owner. It means while creating any record, if we don't select this option, we will be not getting any option to in the community to select any owner. By default, it will be the community owner for any particular record owner. But if we select here, we can choose any other user also as a record owner for the particular community. Okay. After that, if we are using this community in any unsupported browser, we can get a pop-up over there if we click this checkbox. So this one is useful if any unsupported browser we are using, opening our community, and if it is not selected, we won't be knowing like what is happening over there. So if it is selected, we'll get a pop-up over there because that this is not supported in this browser, like that. Option is for the deployment purpose. We use this option, like if we enable this option for the we can deploy the community from one or to another op through metadata APIs. Okay. Then while creating any users, we can select like how many customer roles should be there. We can have an option like 2 or 3 customer roles over there in the community. And while creating like that, we can have the partners also, how 2-3 partners we can select from here. But Salesforce suggests better to have only one customer role and one partner roles. We can have 2 or 3 also. After that, this explain itself, like partner will be able to edit the account fields and opportunity leads. Enable partner super user access. In this, we can provide some users to super access. It will be like you will be having a less access with from the admin, but more access from the partners, from other partners. If we click on that, we can access the we can have more functions, we can access more objects than general partner users. So yeah, and if we want to use any reports, or if we want that our external users, they should be able to access the reports also. So we have to click this option also, so that they will be able to access the reports if they have the permission for that report. Yeah, here we can use the notes and attachments over there. If our external users, if we want that our external users, they can use the notes and attachment, then we have to click this checkbox also. Yeah, this line is very important, this one. Yeah, if for we can use the standard external profiles also if we click on this, but generally in all the scenarios we use the customized profiles. But here like if we click on this, we can use the standard profile provided by the Salesforce. Like just now, before that, I have cloned one profile that was the standard, but I have cloned it to the I have cloned and I created the customized one. So like that we can do. Yeah. Community moderation rules and settings. Here what we cover generally, feeds and what all the posts and feeds on that we can control from this. And if we want that if we want to use these communities on the Salesforce, it's support, then Visualforce pages also will be supported in the mobile whenever you are using these communities in the mobile also. And here we can select the expiry dates for the community emails whenever we are choosing, like welcome email we are receiving, or for the registration emails. It contains some links, so here we can select it, the expiration date, like when it should get expired. So here is the thing. This most important is this one should be selected, so that it will be easy for us after creating the community to make the changes, any particular community. So now we will be creating one community. Coming here. Just a second. Yeah, here we can create a new community. It's loading. Yeah, once we start to create any community, we will be getting an options here, like some pre-built Salesforce has provided some pre-built templates. We can use these templates, or else we can use the customizable templates, or else the older version, that is the classic version, Salesforce tabs and Visualforce. In this one, Salesforce tabs and Visualforce, Lightning pages won't be accessible. Yeah. In Salesforce, Yeah. In pre-built one, they will already few templates they would have defined, like you can use this one, or else if you have the requirement for the customer service, you can use this template. And customer account portal, if your project requirement is related to this, you can use this template. And moreover, you can use the standard version also of this, or else you can modify it also. You can modify it also. And customizable template, it will be empty, like we have to do everything here from the scratch. No template will be available, no theme will be there. We have to decide the theme, each and everything should be done like from scratch, we have to do. Yeah. So now I will be taking an example for the customer service. I'll be using this one. So we can enter here name. Good service. Yeah, I see. Yeah. This is optional. If you want, you can put any value over there. Otherwise, that's fine. So I'm not putting any value here. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, now this is created. I will be going through the administration part today. Before that, I will show you how the page will look. In the builder, we can see here, I created community, how it will be looking. Scrolling through the time. It will be like this. From enabling, before enabling this, we have to do some administration changes. So this, we have created this community, but we haven't activated yet. So we have to activate this. Yeah, and in templates, here we can change the template. Like we have used the customer service template, we can move for the other template I have shown you before, like customer portal or else Salesforce Tab Plus Visualforce template. We can move to that, but Salesforce doesn't recommend that. What we can why? Because if we change the template, all the data, all the changes what we have done, it will be deleted. I will show you. See, if we are clicking on that, it will show like temporarily, like your template will be permanently deleted with all the pages. So we have to do it from scratch. So better to change here. We can create the new community and we can make the changes from there. Okay. Here in preferences, we have general, community management, and files. Basically, in general changes, preferences is like what we want actually. If here we have clicked on the show nicknames, it means whenever any customer is registering through the community, what we want to show, like we want to show their actual email name, or we want to show the nicknames. Basically, why we use the nicknames here? To just for the more privacy. This one will allow you to like more privacy and protect the members' identity. It will be especially helpful whenever we are using the public community, where the like some unregistered members or visitors, they will be accessing and they want to search any user from their name. So there it is helpful, this option. After 1 second.
Type the private page.
Yeah.
إن المسبح بالبحر تمام.
This option like public API post on chatter is it, this means like
Hi,
if
can
you
I
want
request everyone to go on mute if you're not speaking, please?
hello.
Yeah, thank you, Upma. Yeah, carry on. I was just requesting if you're not speaking, please be on mute. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, this if we click on, if we enable this checkbox, that means like if we want that user without login or without registration, they want to search something, especially for the guest users. They want to search something on our community without having a login or without registration. So we can enable this access so they can access that. If we want like more privacy, no one should be able to see the data, or no one should be able to search anything, so better it should be disabled. Yeah. Yeah, that enable direct messages, in that generally it allows all the community members to have the private conversation, secured private conversations. Yeah, now I will come to this point, like use custom Visualforce error pages. Here, if we in that we can authenticated users, they can see the custom Visualforce pages error. If we want to use any we are using any custom Visualforce pages error and we want to show in the community page, that time we have to use this, that time we have to enable this. And for our community users, if we want to show the settings workspaces, like we are seeing here administration decodes, administration setups, and or our all our other builder setups, if we want to show to our community users also, so we have to click here, like we have to enable this checkbox, then they will be able to see. Yeah, now community management. Like in community pages, if any content if we like, it is for the mostly we are managing contents here. If any inappropriate language or sensitive informations are there, so community users, they have the option to flag, like to flag it. If we select that option, they will be having the option to flag that. Like that, they can vote the conversations up vote and down vote, and this one is also very important, like shows number of people discussing yeah, if we are searching something, if we are seeing you can discover, like if you are seeing any topic, you can discover by site, like who are all the knowledgeable in this topic, in the particular topics, who are the knowledgeable people, so that you can contact them directly or endorse those people for their knowledge on this topic. Here we can choose any files. So basically, yeah, that's it. So we'll just save it. After that, it comes to the members, like who should be able to access your community. we can select the profiles here, like the user we are creating in community, what will be their profiles. So I have created one profile, customer. Yeah, I'm using here the custom profile what I have cloned just now, and we can select here any permission sets if you have. So basically the users, they have the same this profile, or else they if we select any permission set, they have the permission set. Those people only, they will be able, like they will be the person who is registering or logging from this community, their profile should be this one, otherwise it won't it will not be possible. Community role default. Now we come to the main topic, login and registration. This is very important here. In login and registration, what we can do, in the login page, we can change the logo from here. We can browse any other logos and we can select the logo type. We can change the color, and we can change the background color from here. Here we have choose the default page for the login setup. We can choose the experience builder page what Salesforce has already provided, or else we can use any customized page also. I haven't created any customized login page, so I'll be using the Salesforce standard one what they have provided. Go. One second. Default page. Okay, let it be default page. I don't know why that page is not coming. Yeah. Why that is not coming? Okay. Yeah. We can select the login pages. If we have created any customized page, we can select it from here. And logout page URL. After logout, where the user should redirect, we can enter that URL here. Like after the logout, they should redirect to the Google Chrome or else anywhere else. So we can enter that URL. It will be redirect to there. Yeah. Here password pages, we can we have the forget password and reset password. That is a standard functionality provided by the Salesforce. We can use this one. And for the registration page configuration, if we want that external user they can register themselves by themselves, then we have to click this option. And for this, for this option here, I'm using the default page registration page, but you can create your customized page like Visualforce page, or else any experience builder page you can create. You can use that one. And here we have to select the profile. The person is the external user is trying to register. What will be their profile? So I have created here, I haven't selected this option here. You can see, where was that? If we select this option, we will be able to get the standard profiles also, but I haven't selected. I'm using the custom profile here. And generally, if we for any org, if you are going to use the communities, you should have enabled the person account. That is very important. If you don't have if your org is not enabled person account, then you have to select any person account, and all the community users, they will be redirect, they will be adding under that account all the contacts of the community. Okay. Here I will be adding any personal one. Go. Yeah, I don't have any account in this org, so I'm not able to show. So here we have to select that option, any person account. Any account we have to select, or else we should have the enabled person account. Then only we will be able to register. Then only any external users can register, self-register themselves. Here we have given the empty, we haven't given any account. So what will happen if any user is trying to register, that time it won't find any account under where it should go. So it won't work. So account is very important, it should be there. I don't have in this org, so I'm not able to show you here. Yeah. Here we can select like the mail from whose mail ID the mail should go. All the like welcome emails or registration email we are sending to the external users, from whose mail ID it should go and what should be the name. So we can mention it here. We can change any other mail ID, email address. We can do the email branding here. We can select the templates from here. Yeah. So this was the setup of the community before doing any builder setup. So before builder setup, I have made the changes in the administration setting. All the changes I have done. Now we can move to the builder. Yeah. So so if anyone has any questions on this, anything they can ask, or they can message in a chat box. Hello. Anyone?
Upma, this is Raghu here.
Okay.
The sender one which you mentioned, it means all the mails which related to community, which is going to users or are usually going to users, community users. It will be go from this sender email address.
Yeah, for the particular community, not for the all. For the particular community, like for this community, we are
Okay.
making the changes in only this community. So for this community, if we are sending any, we want like the sender's email will be this. If we
Okay.
want to change, we can change it here. This is the standard one. We can customize it also in the classes, lightning classes. There we can
Okay.
choose the, like if you want from there. This will be overridden.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Uma. Hello.
Yeah.
In login and registration, you have shown that account. If you leave it blank, it has to be custom account. Person account should be enabled for that. If it is enabled, then the community user associated with this login will be associated with that person account, I think.
Yeah.
So if you have it like it's this line says that if it is enabled, then leave it blank. That means the community user itself is the person account, which is contact.
Generally, what happens if we are going to create any community, like if any organization we are going to use the community cloud, there we have to speak with the Salesforce person, and we have to tell them to enable the person account, and we have to enable the person account.
It will be blank.
Yeah.
This will be blank. This can be
Then
blank.
you
If
can
it is
make
not,
it blank, or you have the choice. Have the choice. You can add any other account if you want to keep a track of that, like how many contacts have registered community, how many external users have registered, so you can add it over there. So all the contacts will be available under the particular account, under that particular account.
Thanks.
I have a similar question. Like we have a scenario like all the contacts which were created from community should go into a generic account. So is it should be a person account or a normal account?
See, if your person account is not enabled, because if your person account is not enabled, then it will be a generic account. But
normal,
if person, yeah.
So maybe you can select any account that is standard account already created by Salesforce here.
Like for community person account is important, it should be enabled. Like if you are going in any organization, if you are going, first we have to enable this one. Here I'm showing you this on my dev org, so and I don't have enabled person account, that's why I'm showing you like this.
If you select any account, you might have some accounts already created by Salesforce. You can select that one, like Burlington, or maybe
I think you guys are all talking on the same language. The first thing is if you are enabled person accounts, then you don't need to select it. If you don't have, you can select any DAM account, and that will get associated with whatever user is getting created. So yes, all of you are speaking the same language.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, guys. Any other question for Bhavna?
Upma.
Sorry, for Upma. Okay, so Upma, do you have anything else to present, or shall we pass it to Bhavna then?
Yeah, we can pass to Bhavna. No.
Okay, thank you very much. And guys, let's switch it to Bhavna because rest of the session would be done by Bhavna. So I'll make her the presenter.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah, yes, Bhavna.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Upma. That was a very, very informative session, actually. So I will not overburden any of you, and I will try to wrap it quick, fast. There are two topics which basically I'm going to cover today is the topics in the community and multilingual capability of the community. So those are the two topics I'm going to cover today. The first is before we actually start with the topics you can use in relation with something called Salesforce CMS, which is nothing but content management system in Salesforce. So I will talk a little bit about content management system before, and then we'll go to topics. So a content management system in Salesforce is actually an improvement, and it's like a central system where you can configure all your information, the contents, and that can be used at various platform, Salesforce platform like B2C commerce, Marketing Cloud, Heroku, Lightning Apps, and communities. If because we are going through the communities certification, so we will talk mainly about communities, and in communities all Lightning communities can by default use Salesforce CMS. But Salesforce staff plus Visualforce community template, which Upma has shown you, can only use this with ChatOS API. And the Aloha template, which is used as an app launcher, doesn't have this feature. So basically CMS you can use for any other except these two thing. I will show you in the demo what is Salesforce CMS. But before that, the most important thing is you should make this available for yourself, because by default it's not available. So you need to make the app available in your profile, and then there are different tabs for Salesforce CMS. You should make the default that those tabs are off. So you need to make it default on your profile. Then you can use Salesforce CMS. Now, according to Salesforce, they advise you to have different designated roles for Salesforce CMS. One is the content admin, and one is the content manager. Content admin has the full content access, and they can also actually manage the contributor of the CMS, as well as they can also control the sharing of the CMS. But content manager only have access for the full content, not how the contributors and others are related. And the most important thing is it's not for overall CMS, but it's related to one CMS workspace. So now you will be wondering what is CMS workspace. So I will go to my next slide, which is the 3 important tabs which I said in the first slide that you need to enable. The first is the experience. Experience is nothing but Upma has already explained. It will help you to create community and go through community with various options. A workspace, if you say, it's nothing but how you are organizing data in the Salesforce CMS, and channels are how you are going to share the organized data to various mediums. So now quickly, let me go to my Salesforce. And this is my Salesforce. I have enabled everything, so no problem for me. But if you're trying first time, you should enable it. I will select Salesforce CMS. And if you see, the first tab is always CMS Home, which is like a consolidation of all other tabs. You can see the workspaces, experience builder, how many experiences you have, how many workspaces you have. So let's see here. The first thing is always CMS experience, because ideally you should have your community created so that you can relate, but it's not a mandatory. You can even create workspaces before. So let me go to CMS workspace, because I have already created a community. I can click on add workspace. I am just going to put very wrong words. So I said dummy, and then I can, okay, for which particular channel I want to do it, I can do it right away. If I know, if I don't know, then I can just skip it. I will gonna skip it. In workspace, as I said in the slide, that Salesforce advise you to have contributors so that not all the work is for Salesforce admin, but every community or every workspace can be maintained by other people. So you can actually identify which user you want to put as a contributor, and later you can even define what type of contribution they are going to make. So I just keep it like that. And then as you have selected, you can select, okay, whether they are going to be content admin or they are going to be content manager. Once you have done it, you can also enable for how many language, which all languages your workspace content can be defined into. So you can select all, you can select none, but selecting just from here doesn't mean that your content is automatically translated. You need to do translation. Then they select the default one, because whenever you are open or any new user is going to open, this will be the default language. Done and save. So now this is my workspace. Well, let me have the one which I created and have a lot of stuff in there, which I created as Decode SF certification. This is how you create your workspace. Now you created a workspace, it's just a workspace. You don't have anything in there. So what you will start? You will start by adding content into it. Why you will add content into it? Because this content you can utilize later on through your different channels. And for us, our channel is community. So if you are creating content, it's fairly easy. You can put a title, you can put a body of it. There are different options, like you can really customize it really well. You can put a banner, excerpt, and content slug. You can add all those stuff, and then you can save it as a draft. So by default, there are several stages or statuses in any content. The very first is save as a draft. So if you see my decoder certification, you can see I have in different statuses. So first, when I save any content, the default option is as draft. But if I'm very happy, I see the content, I say, okay, it's ready to go live with the users, end users, then I have to make it, then I have to publish it. So suppose this is the one, there is a button to publish. I can also, then once published, later on maybe you realize, okay, you have missed something or you want to add something, change something. In that case, you can even edit the draft. There is a beautiful versioning system here. So as soon as there are two versions basically. So if your content is not published and you are editing it, it still remain as a draft. But if it's already published, what Salesforce does it create two versions of it. The published version will remain available for end user, so you are actually not interfering in that one. A new version is created for you. You can make changes in the new version, you can edit it draft, you can write something else in that. You can write something else in that and then save it as a draft. It's still in draft. It's still not visible to your end user. It's still, this published version is what is available for your end user. Once you will publish this draft, the earlier version will become archived. You can see the first one become archived, and the new one with the changes will be now available to the end users. So this is how the statuses worked for contents. You can anytime unpublish it, and as soon as you unpublish it, it will actually not be visible to anyone. There is one more option of ready for translation. So let me show you ready for translation one. This is ready for translation. So for any content which are still in the draft stage, you can translate it into the languages which you initially selected for the workspaces. So in that case, you can select a status called ready for translation, and if you come here in the main content, you can actually export for translation. So that will actually export you in the .xlr file. Wait, I have. So let me just show you. So it will be something file like this. You can make changes in the language, and then you need to import it again in the translated content. And once you import it, if you see like which one I have, okay, I think I did for this one. So if you go to translation, okay, that's okay. So this one I actually did. So if once you actually import for that particular content, you are gonna get the option here in the translation tab, okay, for which one you want to see. I've not done for all, so yeah. And if you want to see how the download files actually look, so this is actually how it will look. You will get each file for each language you have selected for the workspace. You can individually make changes in it and import it. This is about content. Okay, I showed you everything. Translate also I've shown you. Now, once your content is ready, you can create channels. So let me go to the channel. If I add a channel, it will prompt me the available communities, and if you want, you can even create channel. So we are not using Commerce Cloud, so I'm not gonna talk about any of these because these is not what we are connecting. But because as I said in the initial one, that it's like a central hub, so this you can actually build and you can utilize it various other platforms. So this is how it's very useful. It's a very good feature from Salesforce actually. But because I'm using community, so I will add community. You can see the community is already coming. These are all the communities I had created. So if I just simply select it and add it, it will get added. So you can see I have all the communities here. I already added, so it didn't get added. So this is the channels, and how these all will actually have an effect in community, I will show in a short while. Okay. Let me open my community. I go to setups. I go to my community. And it's a lightning fast. Okay, this is the site which I was continuously working on, so I will open this one. You can see all the contents there. Actually, I came here, but I can actually do it from here as well because we are doing it. I want to show you both the ways you can open. Now, I'm not working on this page. I'm working on one of the feature called content management because, of course, we are dealing with content. So in the main content, you can see all the content which I created and I had linked with this channel, this website. I can see it over here. So that is how you can bring the content created in CMS to your communities. These are several other methods like Salesforce CRM and CMS Connect. This is basically to connect your data in Salesforce, and CMS Connect actually if you want to connect it with some other external third-party system. So I'm not going to cover that because the focus of today's is actually topics. This is just a byproduct. Okay, let me go back to my slide and see. Okay, so as I said, if you have several workspaces, one channel can be actually part of more than one workspace, but the content are actually very much related to the workspace. So that is something which you need to take care of. And in this page, actually, we have content collection, topics, and recommendation. One thing is content we have already talked about. Collection is also, as I said, it's basically collecting a set of content. Let me open one. I have done a sample collection and I have added actually content in this one. So it's basically you are grouping contents. Then you have topics I will cover in detail, and recommendation I will just go in a little while. So if you want, you can add any more content, but the collections are basically based on some kind of criteria in the system. So I put criteria that the title contains the word random. So the main difference between a content and a collection when you actually use it in your website, like because you are going to put that as a component in the website, in the community. So if you are going to put a content, that will be just a content. But if you are going to put a collection in the website, then that will get dynamically updated whenever a new content is added in your workspace in the CMS. Whenever it matches, this is a very bad example I took, but if suppose you are if you are building a community where you are saying, okay, define based on various certifications. So if I put, okay, any topic where the word community cloud specialist is mentioned, then add that content in this collection, and I called it as community cloud collection. Then whenever user open that component, they can see randomly, okay, all the contents which you're using in the workspace. So yeah, that is actually the main advantage of the collection. As I said, one content can be in more than one collection, and collections are basically dynamic. Okay, I'm already in topics. Okay, so let me go to the topics, which is actually the main for this session. So there are several subtopics here. One is first is topic management. So anywhere any topic is getting created. So what exactly is topic? Okay, I'm just rambling over what different options are, but what basically is a topic? So topic is something is you can consider it like as a tag or as a tab, which is basically categorizing all the posts and all the feeds and articles in your community. So topics are basically that to organize. If I let me just open it and so now if I see for the topics, there are different types of topics. One is navigational topic, which actually you configured in the beginning, and that will help whosoever is visiting your community to navigate and check the relevant feed, questions, and articles on it. The next is the featured one. You see, okay, one topic is like really people are using, and it's not considered as one of the main one. It's like somewhere inside on some layers. Then you can just tag it here as a feature one. The third is the content topic, which whatever is created is actually coming as a content. Fourth is member created. So if member is putting any kind of post, they are just tagging it, as you can see here. Sorry, you can see here they had put camping and expedition. So those are member created topics, and that is something you can allow or you cannot allow. It's you can configure that. Okay, so now I'm into navigational one. Right now 3 are configured. So if I go to my website, you can see topics is as one component, and there are 3 options there. I can, if I want to add, I can simply type here something, and I can add, and then I can save. It will just add one over here. And if you want to go and add something in the deeper one, you can select the main topic, and you can go any level of detail. So I have created certification, and there are 3 certification, one inside it. If suppose I want to create something inside community cloud, more cloud, I can add and I can save. So you can go, I think till 10 level deeper, and you can have 10 on each level. So there is a limit defined by Salesforce on it. But if you ask me, if you have to go 10 layer deeper, it's not actually user friendly. So even though there is a limit, but ideally you should never even reach near to that limit. Okay, so my topic, I had added something. Suppose if I click on certification, I can see the various options: community cloud, Salesforce CPQ, Salesforce application architect. So if I have selected certifications, any of the tags which has certification in it will come or appear here, and articles we will talk in a bit. And if I go more into community cloud, you can see that my other option also came. So like that, you can actually define all the navigation topic. It's basically help to organize all your contents in a community. Then the featured one, whatever you think is featured, you know already now which user actually use a lot. You can put directly over here, and that will come in your home page as a featured one. I have not done actually any thumbnail or anything, but if you do it, it looks pretty good. And whatever you add, that all will show you here. Like if you are adding it through navigational, it will show you as navigational. If you're adding it as a featured one, it will show you as a featured one. If you can even directly add topics over here, but it will not show anywhere. So just for your reference. And if something user is creating, so suppose I am writing a question, I am into certification, and suppose I am writing a question. And if I click on the detail, you can see there is no topic yet. So I say that session 3. Just to show you here, we don't have anything called a session 3. And if I add it over here, because I had created this question under certification, then the default tag of certification is added. Session 3 I created, and if I refresh this now, you can see session 3 is here. So it's like your user can also create topics, you can also create topics. And how topics will help, because if I do a search for any relevant one, then all the related articles and all the related okay, maybe not certifications. Looks like, yeah, you can see, right? This, no, this is not a good one. Okay, so right now I may be probably doing something wrong, but the point of those topics also, which are like a tag, is that if you search over here and if you
go to the topic and click on that, it will show related or the associated topic or the articles related to that.
Where?
You can go to topics.
Yeah, yes.
You will click on the tag and you will see all the associated articles or questions related to that tag. Like click on session 3.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, this is also there, but I think we can also search it from here. Maybe I have not enabled something like this is under your topic. I think I have clicked certification.
Search topics permission.
Yeah, I think I have not given that permission. That's why it's not searching, but that is also a feature. So the plus is, what I'm trying to actually say is, the plus is because if suppose user has added some tag, right? Session 3, I added session 3. And if suppose 10 other people are also talking about session 3, then actually they can select here as session 3 and they can search all the discussions going on related to session 3. That is a plus point. I'm sorry guys, because I don't know what I have missed to enable here, but that can be searched also that. And as you said, you can go to topic, and if you click on any of the link, you can see all the related post articles or questions related to that as well. So thank you very much. That is about topics. That's it in the topics. I will quickly go to recommendation, and then I will go to articles, because then I again have to go to Salesforce knowledge base. So recommendation is nothing but you can create a specified link or something, a button, and it will take you to a specific page. So if I suppose select something, you have to provide a link, and that will create as a button. I have created one for COVID-19 info. Cancel this. And I have put some image. I have given the link. So if I go to this home page, and if I go, I have put it in. Okay, let me put it because I'm not finding where I put actually that in. So if I go to components and let's see. So I have put it in. Okay, guys, any help? I have created a recommendation and I want to add that recommendation. I did it and active, right? Maybe this. Mhm. I literally worked so much in this org that I messed up all the data I created. Okay, guys. I can actually. Okay, this is a component. Recommendation is a component we can add. I am not finding the component actually. I will show in the chat later. So I just don't want to waste any more time here. Okay, let's get back to topics and about the article. So article, as you all know, it's from the knowledge base. So you can also utilize knowledge base in the community. So if I go now, I have to go to service setup. And actually I can create data categories and I can, there are two ways. One is you can directly link the article, or the other ways is you create a data category and you link it with some topic. So the first thing I will do is I will set up a data category. I'm into the service setup, into data categories. I have already created 2 of them. So if you want, you can create any more in this one. Save it and you can make it active. This is a key. You can just make it active here. Come into active one. You can create a subgroup also as well for each of them. Like I have created here CPQ specialist and all. And once that is done, then you can create, you can actually create articles. So if I go to my knowledge, So knowledge as a tab I selected. And I can create an article over here with all the details, like what is the title. The title itself converted into URL name. You can put question and you can put answer. And these are the important thing, like where this article is going to be visible. So if I just see it, if it's internal app, then definitely it means for internal user. If it's visible to customer, that means it's visible to all the authenticated users, so someone who is logging in into the communities. If visible to partners, that means for partner communities, and visible in public knowledge base, that means you don't need an authentication to view this article. So based on how critical or how sensitive this article is, you can select how you want to show it to the end user. So I have created some here. So this is the one I created. I put some random values. I made it available for everyone. Now if I go back to my community and if I go to automatic topic assignment, you can see first you have to enable this one, and then you can select which one, and then you can add topics. So suppose I want every article which is published under this data category should be available in my certification one. I can just add certification, and if I want, it should be also available as under CPQ specialist one, any article I'm creating under this data category. So I can add as many topics as I want. So this is a dynamic link. So you are not actually associating it manual, but whenever a particular article is creating under any data category, that will get automatically available for all these topics in our community. So like this, you can define at each level inside it, you can like define at various levels. But if you want to do it individually, you can have your article here, and you can open your article individually and you can tag the topics here. So you have option to do it both dynamically and manually, both, and you can do both together as well. And as I said, you can then click on the link and see all the information, or you can search over here and I missed last time. I have to add, okay, content is added here. Okay, default this is not added here. So if you want your content to show here, you need to add the component here as add content thing. Okay, I think I'm done with this one. Yes, I'm done. I have covered everything. So I will move on from this. And I will go to my slides, back to my slides. Knowledge base and article I have just already explained. So yeah. As I said, we need to add in the global search the content, otherwise it will not be visible in the search, all the tags. Now the last topic is the multilingual communities, which will not take a lot of time. So as you have seen in workspaces, we have already done it, but you can also do it in our communities. You have to set a default language and you have to enable other languages. So there are two types of translations. One is the page translation, like if I go here. So if I see here, these are the words, right? If suppose you want to translate all these words. And the second is if you want to translate the feed translation. If you guys have noticed, if you go through the Facebook and if you see any post, you get a get translation link below any post, which is not in the language set in your account profile. So if you translate it, it will translate to your to your default language, which you have set in your account. So this is the same phenomena, feed translation, which you can actually do in your communities as well. The method for feed translation is actually you have to use Google Cloud Translation API, for which you need to create some billing addresses and everything. So I won't be able to show you actually that one. But for page translation, you can either do it through export and import, like we have seen in the workspaces. You exported a file and then you made changes and imported it back, or you can actually go to each component individually and make changes, which I will show you right now. So here is the setting. In the setting, I will go to language. Yeah, language. So you set your default community language, and if you see, there are options like which all languages you want to enable. I default enable Dutch because I live in Netherlands, and Dutch is something which I understand a bit, but you can add any of that. Below you can see it's for feeds. You have to enable Google Translation API. If you have the billing address, a billing account, then you can definitely try this as well. I have enabled Dutch one, so you can enable as many as you want. Once you do it, you have to add a component called language selector. So if you go here, you have, I think, yeah. So if you see, language selector is a component which you need to add, otherwise your user is actually not able to select which language. So that is like really important stuff. And now I was talking about translation, right? So one is, as I said, export content. So you can export the content, and so we will get a whole file like this. So you can see we will get a whole file like this. You can make changes in this one and then import it back. Otherwise, what you can do is you can select here which language. So you can select here, okay, I'm right now in the Dutch page. And if I want to change anything, I can simply click on that component and I can make change in the title. So I say, okay, I made change. So now it's in different language. And if a bit of control less. Let me publish it. Got it. And if I go to a preview, because it's in Dutch, it's showing this. And if I go back to my English, it will show you welcome. So I think sometimes if you don't have a lot of things to change, that this is an easier one. You can do it in the UI. You can just do translate and make the changes here. So that is it. And yeah, so the main thing is you add language selector, otherwise it's of no use. So this is all for today's, guys. Anything you want to add or you want to ask?
Bhavana, this is Raghu.
Hi, Raghu.
I
like how
actually,
active you are.
sorry.
I like how active you are. You are very attentive attending.
Okay, thank you. So actually, this is the area which you covered. It's very new for me. It's very useful and knowledgeable. And I have actually a couple of questions. So this content management, what you explained here today in the session, so this is not particular to any of the community, correct? It is a separate workspace which can be linked to many communities.
Correct.
Okay.
It's not only communities, it can be linked to e-commerce and your Heroku and all. So it's like a central base which Salesforce has created, and you can utilize the same content in so many different platforms.
Okay, so pretty much this content is almost a static data, correct?
Yes. Correct.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Can you show me the picture which there is a drawing of workflow workspace. One of the slide is there, maybe 2-3 slides back. Yeah,
This
this
one?
one. Yes.
Hmm.
So the workspace is having the content, and same content will be shared with multiple channels.
Correct.
Channel might be the community and whatever you just not told something else.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So do we need to request for this workspace separately for to use or something, or by default it will be available in the org?
I think it's by default available, but it has certain contents like how many you can create. So if you have more than certain limits, then you have to buy the package, I think.
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
100% sure, but I have read like this.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, that's pretty much. Thanks. For me.
Good morning, Bhavana. Hi, this is Sam
Hi.
speaking. Hello, hi.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. My question is, in the beginning, you type in the search engine Salesforce CMS.
Yes.
Using Developer Edition, when I type this, I don't get it. I get Salesforce CRM content. Is it the same or using the same org? I don't
No,
get the same.
no. I told you, right? You have to make it available in your profile and tabs.
Okay.